Difficulty in video games has always been something stupid to me. You see, normally game developers need to account for all types of players when they are making a game. Sometimes some games are meant to be played by a specific type of audience. Sure, a game can be played by multiple different audiences. Let's first talk about those developers that are way too scared to even remotely make the game difficult. Normally when you load up a game, start a new save file, the game will ask you to choose a difficulty, easy, normal or hard. You see, the problem I have with these tagline difficulties is that they are just words, they don't mean shit. But what do I mean by that? Well, let me explain for a second. You see, easy difficulty is supposed to be, well, easy difficulty. You load up the game, enemies will spawn less, you won't take as much damage, and if the game has personalized mechanics, they will be easy to handle. But no, games never tell you what these difficulties means. They try to hide their incompetent balancing by dropping words like easy difficulty is for the people that want to experience the story without much challenge. Like what? That's a whole ass different fucking game! If I wanted to choose a difficulty based on my skill, I want the game to stay at least the same fundamentally. Like let's mention The Last of Us Part 2 for example. Easy difficulty in that game fucks the whole game up, makes it a bit dumb, no challenge, even the story kinda messes up, and that's the problem. Someone who played on normal mode probably had a better experience than someone who played the game on easy mode, and that's because the game doesn't communicate what all these difficulty options really mean. So I, right now, will tell you what these difficulty options really mean. Easy mode is shit because the game becomes a movie, normal mode is what the devs put 90% of their effort on, hard mode is just spongy enemies and your health is non-existent, and whatever the fuck kind of higher difficulty the devs made up is basically the devs giving up and increasing all the sliders to the maximum. But sometimes, rarely, some devs truly give up, and rather than making an extreme hard mode, they make something special, and that thing is custom difficulty is when the devs truly give up. They go fuck this shit and they outright give the sliders to their players. If the devs can't make a good difficulty, well the players will, right? Custom difficulty is lazy but genius at the same time. Lazy because the devs gave up, genius because the players will make their own difficulty. And if it sucks, the player is at fault. Custom difficulty adds countless of hours into a game you thought you finished. Mix and matching different sliders, game mechanics, loot spawns, it's great. It changes how you play the game. Niche the Bunker is a game that has custom difficulty and it's amazing. Not only because it adds like a bunch of hours into a short game, but it also challenges you in many different ways. But more on that on the next video. It's always great when devs add custom difficulty. It makes you see the game in a new light. It's like a whole different game honestly. System Shock Remake for example throws away that shitty easy normal hard difficulty standards and outright gives the player complete freedom on how their playthrough is going to be like. TLDR, custom difficulty is good. So how can you fix this problem of what difficulty are you gonna choose? First of all, the answer is easy. It's always going to be the hard difficulty. Not only because any other difficulty is stupid, but because that hard difficulty is almost always the most balanced one out of them all. Since easy difficulty makes the game dull from the start of the game, and with normal difficulty you will lose interest once you get familiar with the game mechanics, and the hardest difficulty is dumb because it's the same game but made more tedious due to how the devs balance this shit. The hard difficulty is like the middle ground for how fun and challenging the game is. Some devs will change how certain mechanics work based on difficulties, and some devs might change the layout of the game based on difficulties. Like RE7 for example, that game had one of the best hardest difficulties I've experienced, changing the whole layout and some mechanics. It's great. So video games difficulty options sucks. The more I play these new handholdy games, the more I feel like I'm wasting my time, since I'm not using my actual skills and brains to beat like 90% of these games. Some games are meant to be easy, some games are meant to be hard, but some games try to be easy and hard at the same time, just cause they are too scared to challenge or offend a certain player base. But wanna know something? Sonic CD is still a good game. Fuck you guys, bye bye.
Probably gonna hit that don't save changes again. Used to write a song a day. It's just that lately my perfection's in the way of me, and I can't make no changes to save me. Wish I could write more and care less. Wish I could write more and care less. Write more and care less and care less.